No intelligent person would accept a meal prepared by a chef who's well known for having poisoned millions of people throughout history. Nor would any intelligent parent knowingly leave their children with someone who was registered as being an abuser of children. However, through gradual social engineering of our collective minds down generational lines, millions of our people that are otherwise very intelligent have been socialized to blindly accept whatever information is presented to us by those that have proven themselves as being the most notoriously deceitful, untrustworthy, and most unethical group throughout history. I'm telling you the truth that by which through censorship, many of our minds have been steered away from seeing. Nowadays, most of our people blindly accepts whatever information that are fed into our minds by the dominant culture, in spite of their notoriously deceitful history of the contrary. The reason for this is because we've been socialized to perceive them as being the authority of all truths and as being above reproach, in spite of all historical facts proving the opposite. This is all possible because regardless of how intelligent people are, if it's possible to control the information that are fed into their minds, it's entirely possible to control how they will think, what they'll believe, and even how they'll behave, because our behaviors aligns with our embedded beliefs. Given that the dominant culture controls virtually all information that are being systematically and repetitively fed into our collective minds, they've exploited this immense position of power over us by manipulating us to think of them not based upon their true history, but instead in ways benefiting themselves. They've essentially given themselves an elaborate, inaccurate, favorable image makeover within our collective minds. There are 4 ways to effectively manipulate the human brain: by what we're taught, by what we see, by what we hear, and through repetition. Because the dominant culture controls the education we're taught, the media images we see, the narratives that we hear, and through repetitive subliminal programming, they have socialized our minds to think in ways that are against our own self-interest and that instead serves their interests. Within this disclosure, I've stated 2 terms that most viewers might not be familiar with. Those 2 things are subliminal programming and socialize. Therefore, it's necessary to explain what they are. Subliminal programming are hidden messages that are deliberately designed to bypass the conscious mind, but becomes embedded into the subconscious mind. For example, when we're constantly receiving those fraudulent, exaggerated propaganda campaigns about black on black crime that comes exclusively from white sources, they're intentionally designed to subliminally embed the message into our subconscious mind that it's we that are now our own worst enemies. Once that belief had been successfully subliminally embedded into our subconscious minds, our behaviors then aligns with the embedded belief, thus shifting our focus and our collective aggressions away from our oppressors and redirecting it against ourselves. The reason why so many of our people believe that they've confirmed the embedded belief that we are now our own worst enemies, they believe they've confirmed it based upon their own individual experiences, is because once a false belief has been successfully embedded into the subconscious mind, people will then only notice those incidents that appears to have confirmed the embedded belief, and they become psychologically blinded from noticing the greater amount of evidence that refutes the embedded belief. This is what's called the illusionary truth effect, or illusory truth effect. Then based upon this psychological blindness, the person will then insist that he or she has confirmed the embedded belief, although he or she has not. I can state with 100% certainty that no Black person has ever confirmed, based upon their own individual experiences, that we are in fact our own worst enemies, because it's not humanly possible to accurately assess the collective state of millions of people based upon anyone's individual experiences. It's not humanly possible. Those who believe they've done so does so because that belief was intentionally, subliminally embedded into our subconscious mind through the white society's monopoly over information that are being fed into our conscious minds. The second word that's necessary to explain is the word socialized. Socialized is when the oppressors exploits their monopoly over information that are fed into the collective minds of the oppressed to manipulate the oppressed to think and behave in ways benefiting their oppressors. This is what they've done to us. Now, if you doubt that our oppressors would exploit their monopoly over information that are fed into our minds to manipulate us to think and behave in ways that benefits themselves, if you doubt it, you are extremely naive. Ask yourself, why wouldn't they do this to us? Furthermore, doing so is consistent with what they've always done to us. They lied to us from the beginning, and they lied to us about everything. We fell for their lies because we never knew that such level of deceit existed. We didn't even have a name for it. They lied to us, always have lied to us, because it's the way they are. It's the way they've always been. And it's the only way they know how to be. And they're still lying to us. However, they now call it information warfare. This is when false information is constantly being fed to a targeted population that are designed to make the targeted population think and behave in ways that are against their own interests and that instead serve the interests of those who are deploying the information warfare. This is the truth of our plight and condition. This is the warfare tactic that's presently being deployed unrelentingly against the Black population. It's how the oppressors now protect their society from massive unified Black retribution. The ruling white elites deem it as being their duty to do so, given the white society's long history of brutally oppressing Black people. To not have done so would have been against the interests of the dominant culture, given our history. Their ongoing disinformation propaganda campaign against us provides the oppressors with a more covert and sophisticated tool used for controlling and subjugating the Black masses. It's in fact so effective that it allows them to continue their subjugation of the Black masses while simultaneously manipulating us to perceive ourselves as being our own worst enemies. It's how the oppressors not only continues their subjugating of us without any resistance from us, but it also how they turn many of us into their allies who works against the interests of our own people. It's truly mental slavery. And it's being continuously deployed against us daily through the oppressors' monopoly over information that we receive, which allows them to control what we believe. And those of us who don't critically think never notices our mental change. Those of us who are telling you the truth are trying to free your mind from a mental prison that you don't even know you're in. Those who tell you that we're being controlled by the Willie Lynch myth, they're distracting you from the truth of our plighted condition. And those of you who are insisting that the Willie Lynch is the true cause of our problem, you are functioning as wardens of your own mental prisons. The truth is, through their monopoly over information that we receive, our oppressors have created a prison for our minds. And those of us who don't critically think never notice the mental change. Those of us who are telling you the truth are trying to free you from a mental prison that you don't even know you're trapped within. I never said that what I teach would be easy for everyone to comprehend. I only said it would be the black liberating truth that will set your mind free once you learn it. It's the black liberating truth that white oppressive forces fears the day that most of the black masses learns it. It's for this reason why my contents are the most shadow banned and most impeded contents on all social media platforms. It's the truth that sets your mind free. It's time to wake up to our reality. One love and peace.